the surf was cooking for the first 20 minutes of that final, man. Like, just non-stop, relentless lines, just barreling down, and they were taking off up the point. They were taking off down the point, and the crowd was so up for it. They were going ballistic. You could hear crew up on the roof of the pavilion just banging the fucking timber up there. You could hear singing and screaming up the tip of the point. It was incredible, man, and they were just flaring. Like, for a moment there, it just felt like, wow, if the swell just keeps pumping, we could be in for one of the all-time great spectacles. And it really was.
It really was. Let's have a quick look at what unfolded. So, heat kicks off. Toledo drops an 8.33 for a pretty sick full rote, single maneuver. Setting the scale high there for a one-hitter, but it was mental. And the way he really whips it round through the end of the rotation to clear the foam and get the full rote is signature Toledo. Like, I don't know if anyone gets that extra bit of high-velocity rotation like he does. And then, it was interesting too. Like, there was a pretty big score differential with the judges on that wave. 2 gave it an 8, a flat 8, and 3 gave it an 8.5, comes in at an 8.33. And why I bring that up is because Julian drops an excellent number next with a pretty mediocre snap followed by a down-the-line slob air reverse, not a full rote. 2 judges gave him the nod in that exchange. They gave him an 8.5 and an 8.3. But, moot point as we discussed. Both those scores are junked in the end. Toledo replaces the 8.33 with an 8.57, an 8.53 it was, for a filthy little runner cone into a psycho lip desecration.
That was sick.
Mate, his frontside power hack.
That was
fucking peerless.
Straight out of that Margaret River year. Remember, a bigger wave, but exactly the same intent. Just how hard can I actually rip into this seggy? It's a pretty wild turn in real life because the change of direction is so severe and so fucking quick. You almost expect to see his kneecaps just go ping and just fucking fly off over those
couple of pogs,
fly up the surface. Just like that's how it seems beyond physics that you can go one way that quick and jam it back the other way, and the result is just a complete wave decimation. Like it's like an atom exploding at that point.
Yeah,
mental tube too. Like really like high line late entry, just chamber after chamber. Like not
that was the one where we struggled to get into it, was it? And it kind of put him a bit deeper.
It wasn't a perfect wave, but it just kept giving him these more coverage. It was wild tube.
It's crazy the tube riding at that level.
Yeah.
If they can get a line in, like they're just able to manufacture speed, punch through whatever. Like they're just so fucking good in waves of that height and thickness. Crazy stuff. And Ewing-esque in the kind of unbridled power and aggression of that turn. He had a few of them, man, in this event. Not all of them, cracked excellent scores. They were here and there dotted amongst his performance, but fuck, there was just a couple where he just drops the clutch, drops the hammer, and absolutely carves, cleaves waves in half. Mate, when he first cracked the tour, we used to talk about how insane his rail game was, the accuracy and speed is power at the end of the day, but he was such a fucking whippet then. Now he's thickened out. He's a proper nugget now, so there's just so much extra grunt in his turns. It's fucking like proper psycho. The 8.53, and then he backs that up with a 9.07 for a big down carve into a crazy lip grind snap, digs the nose out for a make. Crazy to hit the lip that hard, grind the lip, carve kind of through the lip, and then still be able to jam the tail and pull the nose out of the water for a buttery make. As we mentioned, a bit of confusion around that wave, kind of missed by the broadcast. But, at the end of the day, Jules also had his opportunities. Like straight after that wave, he falls inside a deep, thick runner that might have been the score. Hard to say what would have come after the tube, but like his board almost makes the pit. So it was there to be had. He gets chewed up by the foam ball. As it is, he needs a 9.5 of around 15 on the clock. At 7 minutes, he goes berserk. A huge patented carve out of the top. Those big carves, the Jules carve, the Jules kind of S-turn out of the top was so sick. Pulls that big painted carve straight into a fin drift snap, straight into an air reverse, 3 perfectly linked turns. Super critical, powerful, and progressive. He gets an 8-8 for that one, with one judge throwing a 9 at it. Gives the Brazos on the headland the double bird as he spins out of the fin reverse too. That was fucking all time.
And then the fuse is lit.
Yeah, that reduces the requirement to an 8.81 for the lead. And it just goes fucking plutonium grade at this point, the final. With 5 on the clock, Jules blows up. He's coming home with a head of steam at this point. He's been copping half an hour of it. Just flagrant abuse from the Brazos position on the headland about 20 metres from the takeoff spot. How intimate is it?
You're so close, man. It's like you're not struggling to hear individuals scream out like proper burns. Like, he can hear it all. And like a few people were kind of confused as to who he was flipping off. Well, it was people were going, oh, he's bummed at the scoring and all that. No, it was directed directly at the Brazilian sort of mass that had gathered right there because they were giving it to him. Yeah, absolutely feeding it to him, which then ends up being the source of a huge spray that Wilson gives to Toledo, which, again, a bit of confusion on the broadcast about that. We didn't know what it was about, but you can reveal, having spoken to the man himself. So this will be interesting because you're going to speak to Jules tomorrow. Yeah. So we'll get this story right from the horse's mouth, but from Camp Wilson, right? So what I heard was that Joycey was having a go at Phil about the behaviour of the Brazilians, and he was fully fucking off it. And then if you watch the footage, because the one thing that was puzzling to me about whether it was a prior thing or whatever was like Filipe starts doing this sort of like submissive sort of explanation hand jive, like he's not fighting back. He's properly going, man. And what I heard was he was going, mate, I can't control that. Like, that's not my fault. I respect you. You've always been one of my favourite surfers. And he starts going into this kind of deeper space, like this space, because both these guys walked away from the tour for their families. And he starts going into and fuck, I hope Jules tells this story, man. But this is what I heard, is that he was going, I respect what you've done. I respect that you left. You've always been one of my favourite surfers. And at this point, Jules is so fucking steamed up that he puts his hand up, open face palm, as if, stop talking. I don't want to hear it. But what I heard after the fact was like it fully got to him. Like he was kind of like caught off guard by this vulnerable, crazy moment of admiration and truth in the thick of the pinnacle moment of how tense that battle was. Totally. Which to me, fuck, man, like, I mean, what a crazy moment in sport. Like it just pulled it out of this sort of proper battle into this beautiful little like moment of clarity and space where they were just two fucking dad bods going at it and looking for a moment of glory. But it fucking rattled Phil that he wasn't able to connect with Julian in that moment because he just basically fucking tries to hammer off down the point as quickly as he can.
Mate, that was the crazy thing about it. I love this strategy from Julian because, like, I can kind of relate to this, right? Like, playing in very heated local derbies in rugby league, like, for this team, the Maroubra Lions, against the Coogee Wombats, and
the Lions
having a fucking like 100, 150 bra boys on the sidelines screaming at you, by name and whatever. And my whole take on that was like, they're gonna fucking feed me with energy, and I'm gonna take it out on you, cunt. Yeah. Like you're gonna because of these guys spraying me, I'm gonna hurt you, and I would use that energy to fire me up and put it on other people, unsuspecting, completely innocent victims, as it were, as Toledo was in this situation. But at the end of the day, like, if you're going to cop that much grief from the fans, fucking don't let that grief get to you. Pass it on to the cunt you're against, who they're behind. Make him feel it. And that's what Julian did. And the strategy worked perfectly because he put that much heat on Toledo that he coughed up an almost inexplicable priority error where he basically took a wave to get the fuck away from him. Not really sure where this tirade was going to end. opens up the door for Julian, who gets an absolute bomb the very next wave, and goes to town on it. Lights it up. I think it was... that
wave was surfed in anger, man. He was bashing that lip. There was no turn cut short. It's just that it didn't have the big fireworks finale. It was sitting there for him. And to his credit, like, if you want to see an athlete at work, like Jules, even with that little moment of personal sort of pleading, I guess, from Toledo to sort of like understand his position in that moment, Jules just bookshelves it until the final herder. That's when he starts to process what's going on. Because at that stage, he's doing exactly what you said. He's taken all this frustration and anger and he fucking lets rip.
Yeah, and he's let the anger and the disrespect from the fans pass through him onto Toledo.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful piece of gamesmanship.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the way I want to see Australian surfers compete, man. It's in our culture to have a fucking crack at people and put them under the pump and shake their hand at the end of it. Like the matey mate kind of style of competing, it's heartwarming at times, but at the end of the day, like, that's not the culture here. Like, if you look at any sport, whether it's boxing or UFC or rugby league, it's like fucking, we can be mates at the end of it. We'll shake hands and get over it.
Jack Robbo's got that, man. Like, he's got it. But, like, I think even Ethan is guilty of just being on his own program too much. Like, he'll surf heats and you're kind of going, there's not really a battle here. There's just Ethan either on or Ethan sitting around waiting for a wave for a score. Like, he's not engaged in that full-blown battle. And Ronnie made the point during the post-show, actually. He's like, hey, we haven't had a world champ since Mick Fanning. If you want to see what it takes, watch that heat. That is the best example of getting up for it and not taking a single bit of shit or a backward step, man. What a fight. What a final, man.
Mate, it upgraded that final into a Hall of Fame kind of greatness category. That exchange of emotion. It was the final cherry on top of what was already an exceptional final, but then it just builds into this insane crescendo where Julian basically fucking staunches Toledo out of the takeoff spot, gets a bomb, opens with that signature quintessential JW bottom turn, snaps the shit out of the first section, fins out, straight into another bottom turn to fins out snap combo, straight into a big 270-degree hook. And at this stage, it's fucking pandemonium on the beach. Like, they're about to start ripping the floorboards out of the froth bar and fucking setting them alight. Like, it's going that ham. Needed an 8.81 to take the lead. And you're thinking at this point, fuck me, this is right on the button.
Yeah.
Comes in short at an 8.40. I love how ballistic he went on the kick out. And that's where it stays for Julian. But an incredible final, man. One of the greats.
It was amazing. And, like, the spectacle just kept on rolling too, Smithy. Like, it was funny, man. After that final, Filipe comes in. He's kind of relieved. It's all gone to plan, but he jumps on the back of the ski. The ski gets flipped mid-interview with Kaipo.
Oh, best ever.
On the back. So, pure comedy. He gets to the beach. You can't move. Like, he gets chaired all the way up to the stage. And, man, it was such a cool presentation. Like, we kind of got Joycey after all the steam had left. He was like, he made a real point to say, hey, you fuckers on the hill, like, you bring out something in me. I don't know what it is, but I really like it. And he said, thank you. He goes, I'm sorry I flipped you off, but thank you, because I love that feeling.
Oh, it's great, man. That's real sport. That's
that's right.
What we want out of surfing that we so seldom get, which is a stadium atmosphere. That's what makes sport. Home crowd advantages, traveling fans, all of that. Like, it's what it's about. And sadly we can't really manufacture that many stops on tour that have that. But Burleigh is one of them.
It is, man. It is.
And Brazil is the other.
And it was just sick. Like the amount of Brazilians that had come down to crowd out that headland, you should have heard them singing when Filipe hit the stage. Like, it was incredible. Like, proper psycho. Dancing, singing. He could barely get a speech out. They were just full voice, like Brazil had won the World Cup in the soccer or something. It was actually fucking amazing, man. And I think everyone was really just like, by that stage, just going, wow. Like, no one had on the point at least, there was no, even all night, no one the chat wasn't about the scores in the final anywhere. The chat was like, how sick was that comp?